You ever have one of those shower thoughts? An idea you scribble down on a napkin that you just know could be a killer app? Well, how does that little spark actually become a real working piece of technology on your phone? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and look at the secret blueprint that turns those big ideas into reality.
I mean, it's a huge question, right? You've got this amazing vision, this game-changing idea for connecting people or selling something new. But how do you get that out of your head and into a language that a computer can actually understand and, build?
Well, it all starts with a plan. You wouldn't build a skyscraper without a detailed blueprint, right? Of course not. And it's the exact same idea with software. You need a map for your data. We call this a data model. And believe me, it is the foundation for absolutely everything.
And just like building that skyscraper, this data blueprint isn't just one single document. Oh no, it's built in phases, in stages. Each one has its own job, its own audience, and it all adds up to the final structure. Getting this right from the beginning, that's the difference between building something solid and something that's just a house of cards.
So this is our game plan for today. We're going to start with that big, fuzzy idea, the what. Then we'll add some serious structure, the how. And finally, we'll get into the actual implementation. It's going to be a fun ride. Ready? Let's do it.
All right, first up, we're going way up to the 30,000-foot view. This is the conceptual phase. This is really where the magic starts. It's where the business folks and the tech folks get in a room and just dream. They figure out what's possible, and, this is so important, they agree on what it is they're actually building.
The goal here is pretty simple. Create a common language. We're not talking about code or databases yet, not at all. We're talking about concepts, about the main things in our system. We call those entities, and how they're all connected. Getting this right ensures everyone's on the same page, and it prevents so many headaches later on.
And look who this model is for. The business stakeholders, the strategists, not the engineers. And that's a really big deal. At this stage, we are laser-focused on the what. What things exist? How do they relate to each other? We're keeping the details super light, and we're not even whispering about technology.
So let's make this real with an e-commerce app. A conceptual model would literally be a simple sketch like this. We've got a customer, that customer places an order, and that order contains a product. Boom! That's it! We've captured the absolute core of the business without getting lost in any of the technical weeds. Okay, so we've got our rough sketch. Now it's time to start adding some real architectural detail. This is where we enter the logical phase, and honestly, this is where it starts to get really interesting. We're moving from what we're building to how it's all going to fit together. So if the conceptual model was the architect's napkin sketch, the logical model is the detailed floor plan. We take those high-level ideas and we start adding the nitty-gritty details, like specific properties or attributes for each of our things. But here's the key. We are still not deciding on a specific database. We're designing the structure, not picking out the brand of nails and wood just yet.
So now we're talking to a different crowd, the data architects and the analysts. Their job is to add that structure. They're defining all the attributes, figuring out how to uniquely identify every piece of data, and organizing everything so it's super efficient. The detail level is medium now, but we are still, crucially, database agnostic.
And check it out. Here's how our customer entity has evolved. It's not just a box anymore, right? Now it has specific fields, a customer ID, which is its primary key, or PK. Just think of that as its unique social security number. It also has a name and an email. We're defining how our data is structured with way more clarity, all without having to decide where it's going to live.
Okay, high-level sketch? Check. Detailed floor plan? Check. Now it's time to pour the concrete, break ground, and actually build this thing. This brings us to our final and most concrete stage, the physical model.
The physical model is basically the final set of instructions for the database engineers. This is where we take that logical floor plan and translate it for a specific, real-world technology. This is where the rubber meets the road. We are now making the big decisions about exactly how our data will be stored and managed.
And the big shift here is the audience and the technology. This model is for the engineers, the folks writing the code. The focus zooms right in on performance and implementation. The detail is super high. And we finally commit to a specific database technology, whether that's going to be MySQL or Snowflake or something else entirely.
And there it is, the final form of our e-commerce example. Look at that, it's not a diagram anymore, it's actual code. This is our logical model brought to life. We're creating the customer table. We're specifying that the ID is an integer, the name is a string of a certain length. This is a real thing, ready to be deployed.
So we've gone all the way from a fuzzy idea to executable code. But you might be thinking, why all the steps? Why not just jump right to the code? And the answer is so simple but so powerful. It's all about clarity, alignment, and building something that's going to last.
This table right here, this brings it all home. It's the aha moment. Each model serves a different audience, with a different level of detail for a different reason. Conceptual is for understanding, logical is for structuring, and physical is for implementation. This whole layered approach is the secret sauce for making sure everyone, from the CEO down to the new developer, is speaking the exact same language.
And the payoff is absolutely huge. This process isn't just about avoiding a few headaches. It's about building a solid, scalable foundation for your entire app. You get clear communication, you avoid costly mistakes, and you set yourself up for success from day one. It makes your system way easier to manage, to grow, and to optimize down the road.
And really, that's the core message. These three models aren't just separate bureaucratic steps you have to check off a list. They are one single connected pathway. A powerful system that's designed to carefully and accurately turn a business idea into a technical reality.
So the next time you're scrolling through your favorite app, just take a second to think about the invisible architecture that's humming away underneath it all. And it leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Whether you're building a billion-dollar company or just organizing a side project, what blueprints are holding your data together?